Well, it's been about 2 weeks since I've uploaded the what is the worst Pokemon type video, and I gotta say, I did not expect to see the support I actually got on it. And I'm not just talking about view count, I mean the like to dislike ratio was great, and for the most part you guys in the comment section agreed with me. So with all of that support in mind, it got my mind thinking more and more about Pokemon types. And so I thought, what is the strongest or best Pokemon type? And well, today, I think I've come up with the correct answer to that very question. What I'll be factoring into this video is type effectiveness, resistances, weaknesses, statistical averages of all Pokemon of that type, and how good of moves there are for that type. And just like the last Pokemon type video, I want to try to avoid making this video longer than it has to be, so I will only be taking a look at 3 possible candidates. Because we all know types like normal, bug, and ice have no business being anywhere near this video. And as you guys know, videos like these are 100% my own opinion, but with the categories I'll be looking at, I am going to be as objective as possible. But of course, leave a comment if you disagree. If you guys enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, and share this video with a friend. And with that being said, let's get started. Well, when talking about the strongest Pokemon type, I'm pretty sure for most people, the first typing that comes to mind has to be the Dragon typing. And who can really blame them? Stat-wise, these things are absolute monsters, with only one stat line averaging under 90. But honestly, there's so much more to it than just stats. For one, I think the best thing about this typing isn't just its stats, but also the moves that pair along with it. To me, I think Dragon has by far the most powerful move pool with strong attacks on both sides like Draco Meteor, Outrage, Dragon Pulse, and Dragon Claw. Not to mention it also has one of the best setup moves in Dragon Dance, but what do I know? And I know this typing is only super effective against itself, but like I said before, with these stats and these powerful moves, I don't care who you are, these attacks are going to hurt a lot. And speaking of type effectiveness, I think we should also mention how good Dragon's resistances actually are. Having those resistances to fire, water, grass, and electric are key to its success, especially with water, fire, and electric being so common in the metagame. And as for weaknesses, pre-Gen 6, this typing was a beast, only having 2 weaknesses to ice and itself, with only one typing actually resisting it being steel. And as you guys know from the last Pokemon type video, Ice, while a very strong offensive type, can be easily countered because of its lack of defense. And as for the other weakness, that really just comes down to who's faster and stronger. The only real problem I see here is the steel typing. Well, that, and of course, the newly added typing in Fairy. Now, once Pokemon X and Y brought the new typing in Fairy, Dragon got a serious nerf competitively. For one, Fairy is immune to its attacks, which sucks, and 2, Fairy is super effective against it. And considering Fairy types are very common in the current meta, the value for Dragon types has seriously depreciated. Not to the point where no one wants to use it, because trust me, they're still very effective in competitive. Just look at Garchomp, Salamence, Latios, or Charizard X. I'm just saying, they're not as good as they once were. If this video took place pre-Generation 6 and Fairy types never existed, then there's no question who the best type would be. But since Fairy types are a thing, the gap has significantly closed. But who knows? Maybe that's still not enough. Now, when I did the video on the top 5 strongest dual types, I made it a point to mention how good the steel typing actually is. I mean, come on. I had to make a rule for the list to prevent the steel type from showing up multiple times. Like, seriously, it works so well with so many types. There's Dragon, Ghost, Fairy, even Bug is good with steel. So to me, when devising a video on the strongest Pokemon type, it's a no-brainer that we at least have to mention the steel typing. It's by far the best defensive typing with a grand total of 10 Yes, 10 resistances and 1 immunity to poison. And these resistances aren't all bad typings either. There's some really strong types here. You got Dragon, Fairy, Flying, and although Rock isn't a good typing to have, that resistance to Stealth Rocks is also very nice to have. So as you can tell, this typing is mainly used as a defensive wall, and the overall average stats really reflect that. It's got amazing physical defense and passable special defense. And while yes, it is the ultimate defensive typing, it's not that bad offensively either. Sure, pre-Gen 6 it was only super effective to Ice and Rock, but with the addition of the Fairy typing, Steel has become a lot more useful offensively too. Pair that along with the already great overall physical attack, and you've got some things you can work with here. But again, that's the only real use for it offensively. Now as far as moves go, you got a few but really good attacks in Bullet Punch, Gyro Ball, Iron Head, Flash Cannon, and Meteor Mash. And although there aren't that many special attacks to work with, it doesn't really matter because Steel really focuses on its physical attack. But here's the thing about the typing though. While yes, it is the ultimate defensive typing, there's still some serious problems defensively. For one, while it only has 3 weaknesses to Fire, Ground, and Fighting, all 3 of those types are very prevalent in the current metagame. Steel especially has a problem with the Fire typing because offensively, it could go both ways being physical or special. And as you can tell, Steel's special defense isn't that amazing. It's just passable. And to go along with that, I think I might have over-exaggerated a little on how good Steel is offensively. While yes, it does do well against Fairy, common types like Electric, Fire, and Water all resist Steel. But honestly, with all of the negatives in mind, I still think the pros far outweigh the cons here. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I always knew that the Steel typing was a very strong type, but I would have never thought that it would ever come close to being the best typing. But it just goes to show, you can't judge a book by its cover. And finally, the last typing we're going to be talking about today is one that I've been constantly mentioning throughout this entire video. The newly added type from Generation 6, Fairy. Now, on the surface, a name like Fairy doesn't come off as strong, or even good for that matter, but man, does this typing tear down that stereotype. Now, as we all know, pre-Gen 6, dragons were running amok in the competitive meta, so much so that it really needed a nerf to bring it down a notch. And Fairy was that necessary addition. Funny thing is though, this typing was brought in to nerf an OP type, but in the process of that, Fairy became OP within itself. It's one of, if not the most effective offensive typing, with super effective hits against 3 really strong types in Dark, Fighting, and of course, Dragon. And stat-wise, Fairy ain't no slouch either, with great stat lines in both special attack and special defense. Speaking of which, defensively, I think Fairy is a little underrated. Like I said, it's got great special defense to go along with 3 resistances to Bug, Dark, and Fighting. But I think what's so key for Fairy defensively has to be that immunity it gets to Dragon. That's a game changer considering how powerful the Dragon typing is, and only one other type resists its attacks. Now, as for a move pool, it definitely isn't very vast, with the only good attacking moves being Play Rough, Dazzling Gleam, and Moonblast. I spelled Moonblast right this time. Very funny. It does suck that there's only really one good physical attacking move, but it's more of a special attacking type anyways, so I guess it's okay. But I do have to say, as a side note, Fairy also gets an amazing ability in Pixelate, which turns normal type moves into Fairy. So along with the 3 moves I've already mentioned, you also get access to more great stab moves like Hyper Voice and Return. But I know, not all the Fairies get access to this amazing ability, but it is interesting to mention. I will say though, while this typing is very good, it's not without its faults. I think the worst thing about Fairy has to be that its average physical defense is nowhere near as good as its special defense. I say this is bad because those two types Fairy is weak to are more known for their physical attacks than special. Sure, Poison isn't that amazing of a type, but on average, Steel has around 105 base attack. You can basically say goodbye at that point. And Steel can serve as a hard counter to Fairy because of the fact that it, along with Fire and Poison, also resists all of Fairy's attacks. Pair all of these faults with the fact that Fairies have mediocre speed, and it can make things a bit more difficult. But all in all, the offensive capabilities are there, but is that enough to make it the best type? Let's find out. Well, now that we've taken a closer look at what I think are the 3 best types in the game, it's time now to decide on which one gets the coveted title of being the best of the rest. And well, when you add everything up all together, the best Pokemon type has to be the Steel type. Look, I'm gonna be honest with you guys here. Going into this video, I was planning on crowning Fairy as the clear-cut GOAT. But after the research I've done, I just can't justify myself doing that. Steel is just too good defensively, good enough offensively, and the best type to combine with. I mean, seriously, some of the best competitive Pokemon have the Steel typing latched onto it. There's Mawile, Metagross, Klefki, Celesteela, Skarmory, Aggron. I could go on for days. To put it in basketball terms, since the playoffs are going on, Steel is like the LeBron James of Pokemon types. It's a great complementary piece to have, can work well with almost anything, and it's great all around. What can I say? Steel type is the GOAT. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like and let me know in the comments section below. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel and become an Eryizo today. And I just want to reiterate that again, this is just my opinion, so if you disagree with me, that's completely fine. In fact, let me know why you think I'm wrong in the comments section below, and tell me what Pokemon type you think is the best. I'd love to hear your guys' points. If you want to check out the previous video I did, be sure to click the annotation on the left. And if you want to see a Generation 8 video, click the other annotation on the right. And with that being said, I will see you guys next time.